He was one of Riyadh's most powerful men, a billionaire art collector, known for hosting secretive exhibitions for the world's elite. But on a quiet summer night in June 2024, the city woke up to shocking news. Sheikh Omar Al-Fulan was found dead inside his private gallery, a glass of wine beside him, a priceless painting missing from its frame, and security cameras mysteriously disabled at 1 a.m. The man who had just weeks earlier announced plans to open the largest modern art museum in the Gulf was gone, and the last guest who entered the gallery signed in under a fake name and never walked out the front door. This wasn't just a death, this was a message. Was it a rival collector eliminating competition? A professional art theft gone wrong? Or something even darker, a betrayal from someone inside his own circle? This is the murder that has Riyadh and the world asking the same question. Who killed Sheikh Omar? And where is the missing $20 million masterpiece? Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a city where tradition meets modernity. Glass skyscrapers rise next to ancient forts, and wealth flows through glittering towers and private palaces. At the heart of this world was Sheikh Omar Al-Fulan. Sheikh Omar was 55 years old, a billionaire businessman, philanthropist, and one of the Middle East's most famous private art collectors. His gallery was not open to the public. It was invitation only, reserved for royals, foreign dignitaries, and the global elite. Behind those locked doors sat some of the rarest treasures in the region: centuries-old calligraphy, priceless Ottoman artifacts, and controversial modern works rumored to have been smuggled out of Europe decades earlier. Sheikh Omar's passion for art wasn't just about collecting, it was about legacy. He had recently announced his plans to open the largest modern art museum in the Gulf, a project that would change Riyadh's cultural scene forever. But not everyone was pleased. According to insiders, Sheikh Omar was locked in several high-stakes negotiations over acquiring stolen or disputed artwork, pieces that many claimed had been taken illegally during war and colonial rule. Some accused him of laundering these pieces through private deals, while others argued he was trying to return them to their rightful home. In the weeks leading up to his death, tensions were rising. There were whispers of lawsuits, whispers of threats, whispers that Sheikh Omar was getting too close to uncovering a network of illegal art traffickers who had made fortunes in the black market. Despite this, Sheikh Omar pressed on. On June 15, 2024, he hosted a private late-night viewing at his gallery, a tradition for him whenever he secured a new acquisition. Only a handful of trusted guests were invited. CCTV showed smiling faces arriving, dignitaries, artists, and investors, all sipping wine and admiring the masterpieces under soft golden light. By midnight, most of them had left, but one guest remained. A man listed in the guest log under the name Karim Nader, a name investigators would later discover was fake. And at 1 a.m., just as the last lights went out in the gallery, the security cameras were mysteriously disabled. What happened inside that gallery between 1 o'clock and 3 a.m. would remain a mystery, until staff unlocked the doors the next morning and found a scene that stunned Riyadh. June 16, 2024, Riyadh. The morning sun cast its first light over the city as staff arrived at Sheikh Omar's private gallery. At 9 a.m., the house manager tried to reach Sheikh Omar by phone. No answer? Strange, but not unheard of after a late-night event. When staff unlocked the gallery, everything seemed normal at first. The temperature was cool, the lights were off, the room still smelled faintly of wine and expensive wood incense. But then they noticed something odd: the security camera monitors were blank. When they stepped inside the main hall, they froze. Sheikh Omar was found slumped near one of the display tables, motionless. At his side was a glass of red wine, untouched except for a single fingerprint. His phone lay face down on the floor. Nothing appeared stolen, except for one thing. A single frame on the wall was empty. A newly acquired $20 million painting, a rare 18th century piece, was gone. The scene was eerily calm, almost staged. No broken glass. No signs of forced entry. No overturned furniture. Security footage from the night before revealed even more chilling details. At exactly 1 a.m., the gallery's cameras went dark. No feed. No recordings. The last thing they captured was the figure of a man, tall, dressed in a black suit, walking casually toward the private wing where Sheikh Omar kept his most valuable works. For 2 hours, there was nothing. Then at 3 a.m., the cameras came back online, just in time to catch the same man leaving through a side door, jacket in hand, his face partially turned away. Hotel-style check-in logs showed his name as Karim Nader, but when investigators tried to verify the identity, the name led nowhere. No passport records, no national ID, nothing. Police immediately sealed off the gallery, treating it as a murder scene. The body was transported for autopsy, and forensic teams began collecting evidence: fingerprints, glassware, footprints from the polished floor. By afternoon, news broke across Riyadh. Sheikh Omar Al-Fulan found dead, priceless painting missing. It wasn't just a murder, it was a cultural earthquake. Social media lit up with speculation. Some claimed it was a robbery. Others whispered it was a warning, a message from the shadowy art world Sheikh Omar had been negotiating with. But one thing was certain: this was no ordinary crime. It was planned, precise, and professional. And as investigators would soon learn, the clues left behind would take them far beyond Riyadh, into a global hunt for a killer who might not have acted alone. The investigation into Sheikh Omar's death quickly became one of the most complex and high-profile cases in Saudi history. The autopsy revealed Sheikh Omar had been poisoned, not with something ordinary, but with a rare neurotoxin so precise it could only have been prepared in a lab. The dose had been slipped into his wine, causing cardiac arrest within minutes. The killer knew exactly what they were doing. The murder was premeditated, not impulsive. Forensic teams found 3 distinct sets of prints on the wine glass and display table. One belonged to Sheikh Omar. One matched a known guest from earlier that night. But the third set was the mystery: fingerprints linked to an individual flagged by Interpol years ago for involvement in art trafficking. This was the first clue that Sheikh Omar's death may have been tied to the black market art world. Digital forensics experts confirmed the gallery's security cameras had been deliberately disabled using a sophisticated jammer. Only someone with advanced technical knowledge, or inside help, could have bypassed the system so cleanly. The restored footage showed the man in the suit leaving through a side exit, with no sign of forced locks, suggesting he had access or a duplicate key. Interpol immediately flagged the stolen $20 million painting. Within 2 weeks, investigators traced whispers of it appearing in an underground auction network operating in Istanbul and Geneva. The painting's sudden movement suggested a coordinated art theft ring, not a lone thief. Investigators searched Sheikh Omar's devices and discovered encrypted files detailing ongoing negotiations for several controversial art pieces. One file contained an email chain where Sheikh Omar accused a rival collector of smuggling stolen artifacts out of Syria. This rival, also a billionaire, had refused to attend the private viewing that night, citing security concerns. Bank records revealed suspicious wire transfers from anonymous offshore accounts to one of Sheikh Omar's gallery staff members. The timing? Just days before the murder. This raised the possibility of an inside job, someone on the payroll who helped disable cameras or grant access to the killer. Taken together, the evidence painted a chilling picture. This wasn't just murder, it was a professional heist, an assassination, and a message. Whoever killed Sheikh Omar didn't just want him dead, they wanted to take something priceless and make sure the world knew who held the power. But the evidence also left investigators with a terrifying realization. If a man with Sheikh Omar's wealth and security could be taken out so cleanly, no one was truly safe. Sheikh Omar's death left investigators with more questions than answers, and a list of possible suspects that reads like a thriller novel. Here are the leading theories about who may have wanted him dead, and why. Sheikh Omar's acquisitions had put him in direct competition with some of the world's wealthiest collectors. He was rumored to have outbid a powerful European tycoon for the very painting that went missing that night. Was this murder a way to send a message that no one could outbid or outplay this rival? The fact that the stolen artwork resurfaced in underground auctions lends weight to this theory. Interpol has long tracked organized crime rings dealing in looted art from conflict zones. Some believe Sheikh Omar may have been targeted not because of a single painting, but because he threatened to expose a billion-dollar trafficking network. If this is true, his death was not personal, it was business. And the man in the suit was simply the enforcer. Perhaps the most chilling theory is that someone close to Sheikh Omar betrayed him. The security cameras didn't just fail, they were professionally disabled from within. And those suspicious wire transfers to a gallery staff member suggest cooperation from the inside. If this is true, the killer didn't need to break in, they were welcomed in. Sheikh Omar's death leaves behind a massive fortune and one of the most valuable art collections in the world. Could someone in his own family have had something to gain from his death? investigators have not ruled out this possibility, and inheritance battles have been fought over far less. The boldness of this murder, in a city with some of the strictest security measures in the world, has led some to believe this could have been politically motivated. Sheikh Omar's negotiations for repatriating certain controversial art pieces might have angered powerful factions. Was this an attempt to stop him from shifting the balance of cultural power in the region? Each theory opens a different door: revenge, greed, betrayal, conspiracy. And yet, none of them fully explain why Sheikh Omar's killer walked away so calmly, leaving behind just enough evidence to taunt investigators. The truth is, this case may involve more than one theory, a network of motives converging on a single night. And until the full story is uncovered, the murder of Sheikh Omar remains one of the most haunting mysteries in modern Middle Eastern history. Sheikh Omar's death sent shockwaves through Riyadh and far beyond. By mid-morning, the news broke across Saudi Arabia. Billionaire collector found dead, masterpiece missing. Within hours, international outlets from BBC to CNN carried the story. Outside the gallery, reporters gathered. Crowds of mourners left flowers and candles. The polished marble steps of the gallery turned into a vigil site, where art lovers and ordinary citizens stood together in silence. For Riyadh's high society, this wasn't just murder, it was a message. Private collectors tightened security, some canceling upcoming showings altogether. International buyers delayed deals, fearing their names might surface in the investigation. Sheikh Omar's dream of opening the Gulf's largest modern art museum was suddenly in limbo. His board announced the project would be suspended until further notice, leaving the cultural community in shock. Omar's family held a funeral attended by hundreds, royals, foreign diplomats, global art figures. It was one of the largest gatherings Riyadh had seen that year. My father believed art should connect people, not divide them. Whoever did this tried to silence him, but we will not let his work die with him. The family hired private investigators to work alongside Saudi authorities, dying to uncover every detail, no matter how powerful the people behind the murder might be. Interpol elevated the case to a top priority. Auction houses in London, Paris, and Dubai quietly began reviewing their catalogs, checking for stolen or disputed pieces. Whispers spread that several high-profile collectors were being questioned privately, some even backing out of major auctions for fear of exposure. The missing $20 million painting became one of the most sought-after stolen works in the world, not just for its value, but for the secrets it might hold about who ordered the crime. The case dominated TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter X. True crime channels dissected every frame of CCTV footage. Podcasts released hour-long specials titled The Riyadh Gallery Murder. Every new update, a wire transfer traced, a witness questioned, went viral overnight. And through it all, one question echoed in the comment sections. Who was the man in the suit? Months later, Riyadh has not fully recovered. The gallery remains closed, guarded 24/7, its once inviting doors now locked behind yellow security tape. The city's art scene feels subdued, waiting for answers. And for those who knew Sheikh Omar personally, there's still fear that whoever planned this murder is still out there, watching, waiting. Because until the man in the suit is caught, and until the stolen painting resurfaces, the case remains unsolved, and the message behind it remains terrifyingly clear. Someone wanted Sheikh Omar silenced, and they had the power to make it happen. Sheikh Omar's murder wasn't just a crime, it was a statement. The rare poison, the disabled cameras, the stolen $20 million masterpiece, and the man in the suit, walking out as calmly as if nothing had happened. Who was he? A rival collector's enforcer, a hired killer from an international art syndicate, or someone much closer, someone Omar trusted enough to let inside? The truth is still out there. The painting is still missing, and somewhere, the person who ordered this crime is still free, maybe planning their next move. What do you think really happened inside that gallery? Was this about revenge, money, or silencing Omar forever? Drop your theory in the comments, I read every single one. And if this story sent chills down your spine, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video, because the more eyes on this case, the harder it becomes for the truth to stay buried. Because until the man in the suit is caught, this mystery isn't over.